showing up, and that'll be fine. All right. So after we have our book club, hopefully we will have some time to visit our poetry site. That'll be an opportunity to make sure everybody knows how to upload a poem onto the poetry site, and then also just to look at each other's work because it's really cool. I mean, some of the poems that you guys have turned in are super interesting. And Dakota, that doesn't exactly apply to you. Um, for sixth grade, but you can stay with us and watch some of those poems because they're cool. Okay. And Will has just arrived, and that's awesome. And Jaden is here. Hi, Jaden. All right, just real quick before we jump into our book club, did you all have a nice fall break?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did anybody do anything interesting or
No.
fun?
No.
Nothing? Oh, well, I'm going to have to talk to your parents about that, I guess. All right, Jaden, what did you do?
We went to Fort Collins. I saw my sister and brother.
Oh, very cool. Do they go to CSU? Jaden, did they go to CSU?
No.
No.
Yeah, they do, actually.
Oh, very cool. That's where I went to college the first time. It's a fun place to be. We used to call it Fort Fun instead of Fort Collins. Maybe you'll go to school there one day. Anybody
Yeah.
else? No? I went to Las Vegas. That was fun, I guess, even though I lost a lot of money. But nevertheless, it was a good time to kind of get away for a little while. But okay, we'll go ahead and get started here. All right. Basically, let's just kind of review the purpose of our book club. And it's really to get to the bottom of this big understanding. It's called our enduring understanding. And that is that humans make meaning. And in this situation, it's going to be our reading strategies to help us make meaning of the book. Okay. So I know it's been a couple weeks, but hopefully you guys have made some of these connections and predictions because these are the reading strategies that we've talked about so far this year. We're going to be starting a new one soon. We're going to start summarizing soon. But so far, we've talked about connections and predictions. So I know, like I said, it's been a few weeks, but while you were reading chapters 10 through 17, did anybody make a connection? And it can be a connection to themselves, it can be a text to text connection, or it could be a text to world connection, something that came to mind as you were reading. Anything? Uh-oh, I hear somebody in the background. So maybe you can make sure that you close your door and kind of are in a quiet place and that kind of thing. But did anybody make a connection to James? Maybe a connection to themselves and something that James is going through? Go ahead, Dakota.
One of my connections was with the centipede's boots and my dad's boots. And
Oh,
my
okay. Tell us more
connection
about that.
and I made a connection with the boots because my dad's boots and the centipede's boots all have to be untied and pulled apart before they could be pulled off.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so basically they're work boots, and the way that you have to tie them, you have to make sure that everything is undone. And when you're working, you have to make sure that they're all tied up correctly so that you don't trip or anything. But yeah, the centipede had several boots, and he asked James to take those boots off for him. Very good. So that was a personal connection. Were there any other connections that you guys made? Jaden.
Actually, centipedes actually have 42 legs. So
Yeah, he did. Well, yes, he had obviously more boots than Dakota's dad had, but I think Dakota's connection was that the boots were similar, that they both had a lot of laces and ties, and they kind of took forever to get on and off. Yeah,
Yeah, that was
that would take a while. That's right. Okay, well, just remember, guys, and this will be a little easier for your next time, that while you're reading, even if your job isn't the connection job, because that is one of the jobs, you can always make a connection while you're reading. Maybe to something that's going on in the world. And I just thought of one actually. It's kind of, well, I think you guys are old enough to handle it. But here's a text to world connection. I'm sure you've all heard about the girl Jessica Ridgway.
yes.
Yeah, and she suffered quite a bit and had, some bad things happen to her. And James kind of was the same way. I mean, he lived in a very abusive type of household, and Jessica's household wasn't abusive, but she suffered in kind of the same way. So that was kind of a loose connection. Don't want to get into that too much because it's maybe a little bit too advanced, but nevertheless, let's move on to making predictions. While you were reading, did you make any predictions about, or you can make a prediction right now, it's easy enough, what might happen in the rest of the book, or maybe what one of the characters will experience? And you don't have to have this written down. You can think of one right now. Maybe you want to make a connection to what James is going to experience next. And it's probably easier to not type it into the chat, just to raise your hand. It goes a lot faster. Um, or maybe a prediction about what's coming up in the next chapters. And remember, guys, this is a safe environment where there's no right or wrong answer. So you're not going to be punished for making a prediction and maybe the prediction doesn't come true. It's just a way to get you to think. Go ahead, Tyler.
They'll tie a whole bunch of seagulls to the giant beach.
Sorry, speak up a little, Tyler. What did you say?
They'll tie a whole bunch of seagulls to the giant peach.
Oh, okay. So did you actually read that part yet, or are you just making a prediction?
I didn't read that part.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I seen
Well,
the movie. I seen the movie,
you're
so
correct. Oh, I see. You've seen the movie. Well, if you've seen the movie, then you're making a connection. The movie.
another one is
Why did they tie the peach to the seagulls?
so they can head to wherever they're going faster.
Yeah, but they needed to lift the peach out of the water. Why were they trying to lift the peach out of the water?
Um,
Do you remember? I think Lucas has an idea.
Uh, I I've read it, and I know. So it's sharks are eating the bottom of the peach.
That's right. So they needed to get the peach out of the water some way. So guys, we just kind of made a prediction about what's coming up in those chapters, and you already know something that's going to happen, which is kind of cool. Josh, did you have something you wanted to share? I thought I saw your hand being raised. Sorry, Josh. Um, so Vero says she typed this into the chat for a prediction. She said, I think that James is going to hurt his aunts. Well, what makes you think that, Vero?
Revenge.
like, because his aunts are being really mean to him.
Yeah, his ants are being very mean
And
to him. Um,
and they have to watch every move he does.
that's right, and they do. They watch every move he makes, and they have something nasty to say about everything he does. So it's reasonable to think that James might be pushed to a point where he wants to hurt his ants. Um, I don't think that he does. His ants end up getting hurt. Anybody want to guess how his ants do end up getting hurt? Josh, go ahead. I can hear you. You don't have to type it.
They get run over by the peach.
That's right. So they were trying to make money off of the peach, right? They were trying to sell tickets for people to come and see this giant peach, and really, I mean, it wasn't even their peach to sell tickets to see, but nevertheless, the peach was loose, right? It got who chewed through the stem? Coda.
The centipede did
Yeah, the
with
centipede chewed through the
laser stick
stem,
teeth.
and so it loosened the peach, and then yeah, it rolled over the ants. So they ended up getting hurt one way or another. But okay, just a little recap on what some of our goals are for today. First thing is to communicate. And we're doing a pretty good job of that right now. Sharing our thoughts and our questions, that includes predictions and connections about the novel. Like I said, this is a safe place and nobody has a right or wrong answer. A lot of the questions that I ask are not yes or no, right or wrong type of answers. A lot of the questions I ask are maybe even opinion questions. Hi, Jaden. Yes, you're pretty funny. We can see you, but let's be serious. Um, Another goal we have is to collaborate and to learn more about this novel and the themes in this novel. Okay? Critical thinking. When I ask you those tougher questions, it's making you think a little bit deeper. If I asked you only yes or no easy questions, you wouldn't have to think very hard.
No.
Creativity. You're going to be presenting your book projects, and that's a way that all of you can display your creativity. Um, I'm going to share some examples with you of different ways that you can do your book club job other than just typing it up. Okay? So, those are some of our goals for book club. All right. I actually like to skip ahead and start with the summarizer job first because it kind of gives us just a refresher of what we already read. So we had two people who were summarizers. That was Will and Lucas. I'm not sure. Is Will still with us? Let's see.
Yes.
Yeah, he just doesn't have his camera on. Um, Will or Lucas, would one of you like to share?
Okay. I was I thought I was the connector, so I got all my sticky notes ready for connection, like connection to a world. Or wait, let me see what sticky note I have.
Oh, okay. So, well, it's okay, Will. You might have just got mixed up on the job that you were doing, and that's okay. We can come back to you and we can make you a connector as well, and that's not a big deal at all. Just make sure you check that schedule every week and make sure that you're doing your job or whatever. So, Lucas, do you have a summary ready for us?
Okay.
No, I said that. I said I'm the connector.
Oh, that was Lucas
I
talking.
said I'm
Oh,
the
okay.
connector.
Sorry, I'm getting some background feedback noise, so I didn't really know which one of you was talking. Okay, here we go. So I will change that. So now I can ask again, Will, are you ready to share your summary?
Yeah, should I read it?
Do you have it on your screen? Because I'd like to make you the presenter so we can see it.
I wrote it down.
Oh, okay. So Will just wrote it down in a notebook, so you're going to have to just share it verbally.
Okay. First, it was quite a large hole, maybe the size of a fox. The fox might have made it. James leaned down in front of it and peeped through. He crawled in and he kept on going. He said to himself, "This isn't just a hole, it's a tunnel." The tunnel was moist and cloudy, and all around him was a bittersweet smell of ripe peach. The floor was mushy under his knees, the ground was wet and sticky, and peach juice was dripping from the ceiling. He started crawling up, now as though the tunnel was leading straight towards the center of the ginormous fruit.
Okay, are you done?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was pretty good, Will. Let's just remember that when we are summarizing, we are taking parts of the book that we read, in this case it was chapters 10 through 17, and we're putting it into our own words, right?
Right.
So we're taking little bits of chapter 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 and 17, and basically just telling it in our own words. So that was pretty good. You kind of told about how James got into the peach and what it was like once he got into the peach. So yeah, so that was pretty good. Here's another idea I had for the summarizer job. Now, it's fine that he wrote it down in his notebook. That's completely great and that's fine. But what if he next time, whoever's the summarizer, what if they found some pictures and they could kind of summarize that way, some pictures showing us what happened? That's another idea. So there's lots of different ways that you can do these jobs. You don't always have to just write it in your notebook. You can make a presentation. You can make iPhoto or iBooth type of slideshow. There's all kinds of different ways. So keep that in mind and we'll go on. All right, Jaden, you were the discussion director. Unmuted. You were the discussion director. Do you have some questions you would like to share with us?
Yeah, 3 actually.
That's perfect.
What
That's
do you
what you were
think
supposed to have. So Jaden, go ahead and share your, well, actually, Jaden, did you type these or did you write them down?
I wrote them down on here
Okay,
on a piece of paper.
no problem. So go ahead and share them verbally.
What do you think James was feeling when he went inside the peach?
So that question is for all of you. What do you think James was feeling when he went inside the giant peach? Go ahead, Will. Will, we can hear you, so what do you think he was feeling? Huh.
Maybe nervous or scared that his aunts will find him.
That's right. He was probably feeling nervous and scared. Number one, because this was a strange place. And number two, because if his aunts found him not working, he would be in trouble, right?
Right.
Good. And Vero said he was feeling fearful. That's right. He was feeling scared. I think I would be pretty scared if a giant peach appeared and I didn't. Of course, I'm an adult, so I look at things differently. He probably had a much better imagination.
Me too.
Yeah. Anybody else want to add to that?
I don't know. I think Lucas.
Lucas.
Um, I think he was kind of also excited because he could also get away by hiding inside the peach.
I think that's exactly right. He also felt kind of a sense of excitement that maybe for once he could hide from his aunts and get away from them and maybe have a chance at a different life. That's fantastic, Lucas. Thank you. Vero.
And also, he'd have a break from his aunts from working.
Yeah, he would have a break from his aunts who, as we know, were very mean to him and made him work nonstop, basically. So.
Yep.
Good. Okay, Jaden, what's your second question?
Why was James afraid of the bugs?
Right.
So why was he afraid of them? Well, what do you guys think? Why would James walk into a giant peach and be afraid of these strange bugs? Tyler.
Well, he was afraid of them at first, but at first he thought they were gonna eat him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, their size was abnormal, right? They were creepy, as Vero just said. They were a
And
lot
big.
bigger than a normal bug. And they were talking. So yes, he was very frightened at first, I would think.
I'm hungry.
Go ahead, Jaden.
Okay, what changes did the bug go through after eating the magic crystals?
Say that one again. I'm sorry.
What changes did the bugs go through after eating the magic crystals?
Oh, yeah, we kind of just talked about that, but what were some of the changes that the bugs went through? Dakota, do you remember what the changes were? Oh, sorry, I got to turn your microphone on. Dakota, go ahead. Dakota, go ahead.
One of the changes was when the bugs ate the crystals, they became huge.
That's right, so that was definitely a change. And Tyler, what else?
They could talk.
Yes, they could talk. They actually had personalities too, so that was very different. So, Ryder, if you're still with us, you should turn your webcam back on. It's more fun to see you. I can't tell if if you want to answer a question sometimes if I don't see it in the chat or if I can't see you raise your hand. Very good. Any other questions for us, Jaden, to discuss or no? Lucas, do you have another thought? I thought I saw you raise your hand.
Wait, that was creepy. No, actually, yeah, I did, but I didn't. I forgot my question or whatever it was.
Oh, you thought, oh, okay. Well, if you remember it, you can come back to it. That's totally fine. Okay, we're going to move on to Vero. You were the quotable quoter. I don't think, was able to do all of this. Is that correct, Vero? Because you had to return your book?
Yes, I checked it out at the library.
Oh,
We're still
okay.
trying to find bookstores.
Oh, I see. Okay, so when you're able to get the book again, you'll be able to do your job for next time. But it's really cool because we have Josh is a quotable quoter too. Josh, are you there?
That's fine.
Josh. Josh.
Huh?
Are you ready to share your job?
I actually couldn't find my book.
Oh, that's a bummer. Because we had 2 weeks, to go back and, figure it out and find your book and I don't know, maybe ask your parents to help you go to the library or something of that sort. But um, that's okay. We'll have to move forward. And that's okay, Ryder. If all the spaces are taken on the camera, that's okay. But you can try again because I think Josh turned his camera off. Connector. So we had Dakota, Tyler, and Lucas. So these people actually made a lot of connections. Let's start with Dakota. Okay, go ahead.
What was it?
Your job was connector.
Um, I only made like one connection, and the other one I didn't make.
Well, one connection's better than no connection, so do you want to share it with us?
It was the one where it was with my dad's boots and the centipedes.
Oh, okay, okay. So you've already shared that one. That's fine, Dakota. That's better than nothing. Lucas, I'm gonna unmute Lucas. Lucas, you made some connections. Go ahead and share.
Okay, so this is one from after they got away using the birds. Okay, so it, it's like a blimp. That's what I said, and this is what it says from the book. The great round ball hovering overhead. It says in the book.
Oh,
Shows the
okay. So what's your connection?
it's like a blimp.
Oh, all right. So you've seen something like that before. It's like a blimp. So you've seen a blimp in the air and the
No,
jet.
I haven't seen one in the air, but it's connecting to the world, and it's kind of like a blimp.
Okay. Well, yeah, he's making a connection to the world, and we do know that blimps do exist. And sometimes you look up in the sky and you see somebody advertising their company or whatever, and it's written on a big blimp in the sky. Um, and I'm sure that if anybody saw the peach out in the middle of the ocean, that it probably did look like a blimp. Good, Lucas. Anything else?
I was I keep forgetting. Sorry.
That's all right. Sometimes
Um,
it's helpful when you write everything down so it's, right there for you and you can find it quickly. Either write it down or type it up.
okay.
Yeah. Tyler, let's have a couple of your connections. Oh, I gotta unmute Tyler. Okay, go ahead. Unmuted. Go ahead.
My first connection is when James climbed in the giant peach. I connected I connected that because of it reminds me of climbing in the tunnels that we make in the winter in the snow.
I'm sorry, Tyler. You just there's like a lot of feedback right now, so I'm kind of muting everybody except for Tyler, um, just so it sounds a little bit better. Tyler, can you share that connection one more time?
Okay. My first connection is when James climbed in the giant peach. I connected to this connection because it reminded me of climbing and snow forts that we made.
Oh, okay. And remember a couple weeks ago too.
And
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
my second connection was with Aunt Spiker. She gets angry really easy. So do I.
Okay, so both you and Aunt Spiker have a short fuse, so to speak, huh?
We get angry really easy.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully you can find ways
No,
to
I don't mean
channel your
like
anger
I
in a
don't
better
mean
way.
like I don't mean like her. I mean like um I don't get angry at everything at her.
Yeah. It's just when you do get angry, it's
Only
quick, huh?
yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, all right. Well, that's still good. At least you deal with things better than Aunt Spiker, I'm sure. Okay. Let's see. Michael's not with us right now, but he was our illustrator. Um, let's see here. We have Ryder. Ryder, you were our word wizard. Are you ready to share, Ryder?
I don't know what I do for the word wizard.
Okay, for the word wizard, you were supposed to pick, I think it was 6 words that you found either interesting or scary or new or whatever, and share it with us and where you found those words. So let's go back to, I'm going to find those jobs. And these have been sent to you, so they are in your Google Drive or their Google Docs. Mine says Drive, yours might say Docs. Nevertheless, you have all of these documents. They are there unless you deleted them. So you will go into your Google Docs or your Drive, depends on which system you're using, shared with me, and you'll see a bunch of things that I've shared with you, and you'll be able to find them in there. But let's just look at them. I can share them again. Here we go. Here's the word wizard job. Let's review it. Okay. So the word wizard, sorry, my screen kind of took me away there for a second. Your job is to find 6 special words from the chapters that you read, which would have been 10 through 16 or 10 through 17. Words that are new, different, strange, funny, or interesting, or important words, or even hard words. Then you would give us the definition, where you found the word, and you could use it in a sentence. It could be the sentence right from the book or your own sentence. So that was the word wizard job. I could just see by a show of hands, does anybody have any important vocabulary that they came across while reading? No? We talked about a lot of the important words a couple weeks ago, and Cade actually, or not Cade, my goodness, Dakota actually answered a lot of, or I'm sorry, put the definition of a lot of those words for us. But it doesn't mean that as you continue to read that you won't notice fun words. Okay, well, we will go on to our discussion questions. Somebody is awesome and has already been in here and put some answers. But it doesn't mean that the rest of us have to just sit here. The rest of us are going to add to these answers, and we're going to talk about them a little bit more. Who was it that came in here, by the way, and typed the blue answers? You can raise your hand. Was it you? Jaden? No? Tyler, it was you? Good job, Tyler. Awesome. Okay, question number 1. And like I said, there's more that we can talk about. We don't have to just take Tyler's answer and just be done. This is for you to add your own thoughts and add anything that you want to discuss. How did James react when the creatures began to talk about how hungry they were? Tyler said he was scared because he thought that they were going to eat him. Does anybody want to add anything? Well, how about this? How would you react if a bunch of bugs that were as big as you started talking about how hungry they were? Go ahead and raise your hand.
Okay.
Lucas.
I bet he would have fainted. I bet he would have fainted.
Sorry, Lucas, I didn't hear you. Speak up.
I bet he would have fainted.
Absolutely, I agree with that. All right. Anybody want to add anything to question 1? It was a pretty easy one, so we'll go on. The creatures inside the peach are waiting for James. How did they know that he would come and who he was?
The green things. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Lucas.
The green little seeds or whatever they were.
What about him?
They're magic. So since they ate him up, they kind of had a look of what he would be coming or something like that because they were magic. They just knew he was coming.
That's right. So they were magic crystals, I'm sorry. And so they knew that those crystals had belonged to James. So they were waiting for James. Very good. The ladybug is the one who realized how scared James was. What does this tell you about the ladybug? What does it tell you about the ladybug's personality? How about Will?
That she might be like really nice, and she would just be really nice.
Yeah, that she was nice and she was caring. Absolutely. Good. She was probably the most motherly type of bug out of all of them. Yeah, she kind of acted like a mother. What character do you identify with the most? And this is personal for every single one of you. So I'm going to give you just a minute, maybe 2, to type it into the chat. What character do you identify with the most? It's different for everyone. And be ready to tell me why. Okay, very good. Good. All right. All right, let's start at the top. So far, I have Will. Will says that he identifies with the centipede. Why do you think the centipede is most like you, Will?
Because he's like um he seems, I don't know how to say it.
Well, he seems like he's kind of a sarcastic bug, right? Like
Yeah.
he kind of has a little bit of an attitude. So, does that describe you, Will?
Well, kind of sarcasm.
Right. Maybe a sense of humor?
Yeah.
I definitely think you have a sense of humor because I think I saw you running around with a mask on during your brother's VC earlier. So
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, that was you. Good. That's probably something that the centipede would do. Good. Um, Ryder. Ryder said that he identifies with the grasshopper. Ryder, do you want to tell us a little bit more about that and why?
I think relate to the grasshopper because I'm very calm at sometimes. Mostly, I'm very calm like the grasshopper.
I agree. Very calm and very settled. And the grasshopper was kind of an even keel, kind of cool cat, man. He didn't get too riled up about anything. That's good, Ryder. Jaden, he identifies with the silkworm. Why do you think so, Jaden? Why are you like the silkworm?
Because I really just don't do anything.
What was that, Jaden?
The silkworm does nothing, and I don't do anything either.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. The silkworm actually has a very important job. What is the silkworm doing? It's making silk and making all of those strings that they use to attach to the seagulls.
Yeah,
So,
but before that, he never did anything.
oh, okay. So before that, he wasn't a main character. Okay. Well, maybe Jaden is saying that he waits until something's really important to to chime in. Maybe that's what he's saying by that. Vero, she identifies with Spiker. Why is that, Spiker? I mean, why is that, Vero?
I don't know, because sometimes I'm mean to my sisters.
Oh, well, hopefully you're not quite as mean as Spiker, but perhaps you
Not
have some of the
quite.
same feelings that she has. Definitely. Do you feel like your sisters are, or your sister is a nuisance?
No.
Okay, so not quite as bad as Spiker then, but some
Mm-mm.
of the time maybe. And Lucas, why do you identify with James?
Um, he's kind of, um,
Well, what is James like?
he's kind of quiet in a way.
That's
He,
right.
uh, he's kind of like between talks a little, but he also is kind of quiet at the same time, kind of a
Yeah,
mixture.
he is. He's quiet and he's kind of well, I mean, he's sad at times, but he has a much happier life that comes up soon.
Yeah, he's more happy than sad.
That's right. Josh, your microphone's on. Do you identify with any of the characters?
Um,
Are you like any of them?
not really.
No. Okay. Um, Dakota, what about you? No. That's all right. You don't have to be like any of the characters, but it's kind of cool when you can draw some similarities between yourself and the characters. And Tyler, why don't you just share with us what does your shirt say? Because I'm sure it's very interesting, or pillow, or whatever it is.
California.
California East. Yeah, California East 1850s.
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to show it to us, but you just had your arms inside your shirt, probably to keep warm.
Yeah,
But
Also your legs.
yeah, it snowed last night.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know, I know. It's pretty cold out today.
I didn't
Um,
even get into the snow.
Pretty
who
cold in
didn't
this
get
room.
any snow?
Yeah.
You didn't get any, Lucas?
Wait. Oh, I thought you said. Did you get any snow? I said yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, I think you did because I think we all kind of live somewhat close to each other.
The
Yes.
Awesome.
snowflake,
Lots of
the
snow.
snowflakes at our house were like this big.
Really? Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, while we're together, let's look at our poetry site that I've shared with you. And I have a bunch of different sites. And I just want to show you how to upload a poem. And then we can look at some of our poems too while we're all together. So, Dakota, you are free to take off, my friend, or you can stay and look at some poems. It's up to you. So, okay. So we have our poetry site, and when you log in, here is the first page. It's poetry at its finest. And this first page just tells us why we're doing the poems. And basically, here's those four C's again. a chance to be creative, a chance to collaborate with your teammates, both 4th and 5th grade, some critical thinking, and to communicate. Okay? The creation of poetry encompasses the spirit of creativity in young writers as students communicate ideas or sentiments through this highly stylistic writing type. They think deeper and critically about new topics. So when you have to write a poem about something that you normally wouldn't write about, you have to think deeper. Poetry is a form of storytelling, and it's a collaborative effort between your peers and me. My hope is that by sharing all of our work, it's going to inspire you to write more and to communicate with each other in a positive way. So let's look at 4th grade. And a lot of us have done the 5 W's. So when you click on one of these subpages, it shows you what type of poem you're looking at. It tells you what it is, and it gives you an example, okay? So the 5W poems. There's an example, and here are all the people who have actually submitted a poem. So when you scroll all the way down, you'll see something that says Add Files. Give me a thumbs up if you see that. Okay, so that's where and how you're going to add your poem. You'll click on Add Files, and it's going to take you to your documents, and you will choose, maybe you saved your poem on your desktop after you typed up your poem. So you saved it on your desktop. You're going to select it. This is not a poem, by the way. I'm just pretending it's a poem. You're going to hit open, and there it goes. It's uploading onto the poetry site. Okay? Then when you scroll back down, it shows up on the very top. I'm going to delete it because that really wasn't a poem. And if you want to delete it, because maybe you did what I did and you selected something wrong, you click the X and it'll go away. So, just one more time, just looking at the 5 W's you've done: alphabet alliteration, cinquean, creature alliteration, and haiku poems. Yes, Lucas. Sorry, Lucas, I gotta unmute you. Let me unmute you. There you go, Lucas.
When I go to the site on when I'm at Gmail, I look up in their sites at the top, and I go to the site, and it only gives my portfolio site. Doesn't give any others.
Okay. Well, your portfolio is something different. So I will, right now, I'm going to share this site with you again, just to make sure you have it, Lucas, because I want to make sure that you have it.
Okay.
And I'm sure that you do, but maybe it's just stuck somewhere. See, look at all those names. Lots of kiddos. Okay. But let's go down here and we'll make sure that Lucas has it and you have permission to edit, so that means you can add your poems.
Come.
And it's going to show up in your email, and then you'll be able to get to it. Okay?
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Oh, I guess I just lost it. I'm going to go back to it now.
Jerry, come.
All right. Does anybody have a poem that they would like to share? Maybe one of them that was really exciting for you to write?
Which one is this?
Well, this one's the alphabet alliteration. But you could share any of them. If you remember doing the 5 W's or the alphabet, the cinquean, the creature, or the haiku. Actually, the haiku I think is next week. But Tyler, which one do you want to share?
The 5W poem.
Okay.
Hang on a sec. I want to see if I can find it.
Okay. So Tyler, you know how to upload it now, right?
Um, I thought me and my dad already did. Oh, here it is.
Oh, yes, I uploaded it for you. Here it is. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Frankenstein ate a man yesterday at the Franken Lab. His mother told him to try. It's hard to read on this paper. His
You
mother
can read
told
it
him
on my
to try.
screen.
Okay. Frankenstein ate a man yesterday at the Frankenland. His mom told him to try eating different things.
Very good. So that was an example of a 5W poem. I liked it. It was very nice.
See, it's really
Anybody
hard
else?
to read on my paper.
Anybody else remember a poem that they'd like to share? Go ahead, Vero. Which one do you want to share? Oh, sorry, you were muted. Go ahead, Vero. Which one do you want to share?
The 5 W's.
Okay.
Crystal, my puppy, ran away from me this morning in my neighbor's yard. She just wanted to play.
Very good. I was about to pull it up too. Of course, now it's taking a while. There it is. Looks like you wrote a bunch of them. Do you want to share another one?
Okay.
Okay.
I go to swim team practice 3 days a week at the rec center. I do it so I can be a better swimmer.
Very nice. All right, guys. So that's just an example of where your poetry site is and how to upload everything. Um, Now, if you are confused about where I talk about each type of poem, I'm going to show you just in case you forgot. I believe we started in week maybe 6, maybe 7. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to pull them up and show you where I talk about the poems every week. Okay.
You can mute me.
Okay, I'll mute you. Okay, so sorry, it's going to take just a second. I'll pull up your homepage. For 4th and 5th grade, you guys share the same homepage and you guys have the exact same instructions for poems, so it doesn't really matter which book I go into. So let me just scroll down and I'm going to jump to this week, which is week 9. Go a little faster here, hopefully. Okay, so I just go into 4th grade's book, but like I said, 5th grade has the exact same directions for poetry. And when you have your overview, I want you to scroll down, and here's where I talk about the poetry and the type of poem every week. Okay, where it says poetry unit, right there. So that's where the site, you could click on there to get to the poetry site. It'll take you right to it. And here are the directions for each type of poem. Jaden, go ahead.
Okay.
Jaden, did you have a question? Okay. And sometimes, I don't know why, but sometimes people go to the site and for whatever reason, it doesn't want to let them add files. If that happens, just email it to me and I'll add it for you because I've always been able to add files. Okay. So just email it and I'll do it for you if you can't do it. But you try it yourself first. Okay. All right, guys, it's been fun. I will see you not next week, but the week after. The reason I won't see you next week is because we have conferences. So tell your parents to check their email. They have an option of having an email conference where I will send them all of your progress report stuff, or they have the option of a 15-minute conference with you and your parent, and you will walk your mom and dad or mom or whatever through all of your assignments. You're going to walk them through what you're missing, what your grades have been, and of course, I will be there to share my progress report for you as well. So both are very similar. They're going to get the same information either way. So tell them to check their email and to make sure that they sign up for whatever option that they want. Okay? And I will see you guys on November 5th. All right, give me a wave goodbye. Bye.